Hey everybody, I'm Adam Cohn. I'm the VP of Broadcasting here at NCMA Boston. I'm not going to go into my 10,000 other titles. The title I do want to get into is my guest today, Cody Van Rentergem. He is a manager at Capital Edge Consulting, also one of the sharpest looking dressers out there. Cody, welcome. And why don't you tell everyone just a little bit about yourself, and then we'll kind of get into really the meat and potatoes of your session, Practical Guide to External Restructuring Proposals. And stay tuned, folks, because Cody, we got a double hitter for you. He is moderating what might be, next to the keynote, the most important session we have at this March workshop this year. More on that later on. So, Cody, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So, tell us a little about yourself.
I've been a manager at Capital Edge Consulting for 5 years now. I was previously a college hockey coach and kind of took a leap of faith to get into my current role.
I love it. So, speaking of your current role, what kind of got you into your field? Because going from hockey coach to Capital Edge Consulting, that's kind of like way different ends of the spectrum there. So, what kind of happened?
So, I had a background in economics and finance. I didn't really feel like I was necessarily using that in my previous career. So I was looking for something else to do on the day-to-day. And it all kind of coincided with my wife being pregnant and being away from home so much coaching. I was looking for a change. I actually met up with Chad Braley just kind of by happenstance. We had a coffee together. And through our conversation, he really inspired me to take the leap and try something new.
I like it. So what interests you specifically about the topic you're presenting on? Because when I hear proposals, that can be a lot of different things. You've got the tech volume, you've got the cost volume, you've got all the supporting documents that go with it, all the time and effort that goes into each of the volumes. So what interests you specifically about this, and why are you calling it a practical guide?
I really want to help contractors, understand what requirements there are surrounding an external restructuring proposal and what the benefits of submitting an external restructuring proposal are. So if a contractor is going to acquire another company or business, they have the opportunity to restructure their cost accounting practice changes. And if they meet the specific criteria within the FARS, DFARS, and CAS, they can avoid the contract price and cost adjustments to their contracts if they meet these certain requirements. I think it's an opportunity that maybe not all contractors understand or even know is available to them, and I'd like to help them understand those requirements and what they may see if they go down the path.
I love that. I mean, Cody, I'm sure you work with all different kinds of businesses, right? Large, small, medium size. It doesn't really matter. But like to me, I've got a big heart for small business. I really want to see a lot of these. I want to see every small business succeed. And there are instances. I have several years as a subcontract administrator and working with some small business. It's either it's like a CFO or a CEO, CFO. It's some C-level executive doing these contract things, and it's like they just want to run the business. But then you're telling them about compliance and this and CAS, and I got to do proposal. What even goes into that? Why is there a tech volume and a cost volume? There's so much involved. And having some sort of a guide, like you're saying, to really be able to help everyone at every level, to me, seems like an actual no-brainer. So now time for a little teaser. What can people expect to learn during your session? And I said it earlier, the moderation that you are doing specifically for one big session. We'll talk about that after that. So you've kind of briefly touched on CAS and all these other things. What can people expect to learn during this session? What's in that guide that they get to take away from?
So I'm going to highlight the requirements that are outlined, like I said, in the FAR, DFARS, and CAS. I'm going to provide some best practices and some examples from previous external restructuring proposals that I've done to really try and give them a map or a guide as to how they would want to structure their future proposal.
I love it. And that is so important, so key to have just a basic background, like you said, heck, even if it's a best practice, someone could come into this thing going, I didn't even realize we could be doing that. Why we've been spending twice the amount of time, money, and effort doing something that you get in there and tell them, hey, there's a better way to do this. I think that is awesome. All right. Before we end this interview, go ahead and talk to us about the session you're moderating. Give us the title because I think this might be, again, outside the keynote, the most important session we have at this year's March workshop.
Sure, I'm going to have to read the title. It's a little wordy, but it does get, the main message across, which is managing risk in the ever-changing world of the Trump administration's executive orders and spending priorities. So we have Chad Braley, our managing partner from Capital Edge Consulting, and then we have Ryan Roberts and Ariel Devin Collinsworth from Shepherd Mullen. And it's going to be an open mic. I have a few questions that I'm going to prep and be prepared for if there's an awkward lull, which I don't really expect there to be in this one. We're going to cover the changes to the immigration, foreign aid funding, shifts in energy policy, and the termination of DEI-related initiatives. So those are the topics that I'm going to have teed up, ready to go, questions ready. But we're going to have a mic in the audience, and we're going to be accepting questions as well. We really want to focus on how can these executive orders affect your business and how can you mitigate the risks associated with them.
That's right, because our theme this year is navigating risks and challenges in the contracting environment. And this is, look, I was at NCMA Nexus. We're recording this on February 14th, 2025. I was at Nexus this year. I noticed a couple days prior to recording this. And all these, Trump administration executive orders were one of the big themes from a lot of people there because they were either like, we don't know where our funding is going to be coming from. Is it going away? Do we have the funds to still send people? Are we losing people? What are these DEI initiatives doing? What's the foreign aid doing? Is there a company on a grant? Is the grant money going to dry up and go away? There is so much, maybe concern might be the best way I can describe it. Folks, we're here to give you hope. We have got Cody, we've got Chad, we've got everyone. We've got a lot of heavy hitters this year. Our keynote speaker, who's the new director of DCA that I actually got a chance to talk to at Nexus. Come to the March workshop Thursday, not Wednesday, Thursday, March 13th this year. It is not a Wednesday for the first time, and I can't remember how long. It's a Thursday this year. Cody, any final thoughts that you want to share? Anything you want to share with the audience before we wrap this up?
I'm just excited to come back, and my favorite part is meeting everybody and just, swapping stories, getting to know everybody, and just a general meeting of the mind. So I'm excited just for the energy and to be around the people again.
I hear that. All right, folks, we'll see you at the March workshop. Thanks for watching.